Hello folks, Dr. Groovy Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com. Today we are going to get groovy. We're not going to get funky, so to speak, but we will be getting all kinds of groovy. By that I mean we're actually going to do old soul stuff, okay, which is still applied to everything today. You go all the way back to the times of Motown, which I will be doing a lesson on shortly, just nothing but Motown riffs. And I think of James Jamerson and stuff. But you get the bass, you get the soul. I mean, this gets you moving. Okay, instead of, you know, both will get you going, but man, when you get that old My Girl, you know, just some of that old Motown, the stuff is awesome. And for all you players who have already went that route, good for you. Maybe you have some rhythm, but do you have soul? Let's make sure you have soul. For some of you guys coming up on the other side of it, who are going, what with all of this? Let's get your soul out of you. Alright, let's find out what we're going to learn. This is actually at the beginning of the video. If you bought it, this will be the intro, and it's right there on your DVD or your download. So it's here to remind you why you bought it. Okay, I'm going to use the Beat Buddy down here. I'm going to use this PV with the graphite, modulus graphite neck on it. Very cool, the old G5. 5-string to play. Whatever you guys play is fine. I'll try to stay away from the top string as much as possible. For those of you who aren't using a 5-string, why not just use a 4? Most of my 4s just don't have fret markers on the front, basically. And then I didn't want to play something that's shaped like an axe or any other battle instruments. Okay, so using the Beat Buddy a lot during these couple hours we'll spend together. Again, these are going to be the basics and the not so basics of just pure soul, trying to find your soul and what soul music means on the bass guitar. Very basically, we'll do this. Okay, so doing something with the old, you know, the old walking bass patterns, but actually putting some soul into it. And by the pedal tones I was talking about, those are going to be usually your root or your fifth, to kind of give you another idea, again, what I'll be talking about. So if you're in E, as I just was, or, okay, so watch the right hand. So we're going to do a lot of the, you know, classic let your finger do the walking Yellow Pages thing, for those of you in the United States anyway that have the Yellow Pages. Okay, that will actually be, okay, so you're using the root, the fifth. Okay, you've heard this a lot of times. Okay, so we're going to use low, stuff like that, or we could do it on the fifth. Okay, so you're actually pedaling. Okay, on the fifth. So we'll do different pedals. We'll do actual chording, like I said. Okay. Okay, that will help you out. And again, it's the shapes more than it is playing those things. Okay. Okay? So there's your E shape, and then we will add to it, ninths, 11ths, 13ths, which are very simple, or I will make them very simple for you, and play just lots of actual soul music, okay? Lots of soul lines that you can transfer to what's going on today, or that you can use in what was going on in the yesteryears. Okay, so that's just a very, very quick look at what we'll be doing in a couple hours. Be a lot more than that, of course. So once again, Scott Grove, Dr. Groovy, here to show you the actual soul, to get the soul out of you if you don't think you have any, and to get the soul out of you if you are just too flippin' funky to find your soul. Okay, there is a fine line that will get bigger as this lesson goes on between the funk and the soul thing. So make sure you grab the lesson if you already got it. Grab your seatbelt, grab a beverage, and grab your bass and a tuner possibly, and we'll get it right on with this thing. You'll be all the better for it. Talk to you soon. Time to sweat. Okay, folks. Welcome. Once again, I am Dr. Groovy, or somebody calls me that. It says so on the shirt. You may have saw it in the intro. You may have wondered what this is. That's my badge. It's my official badge. Dr. Groovy DMF. What's that mean? Oh, okay. Alright, this right here. Okay, it means the music fanatic. No, I don't mean that. It says, Dr. Groovy, you dumb mother. Hey, shut your mouth! I'm just talking about Shaft. You know what it means by now, I think. Anyway, yeah, they call me lots of things. But they also call me a teacher, and that's what I'm here for. Okay, four. The old style, which will be brought into the new style. I'll show you both. Everything soul-wise. Again, I'm using a 5-string, so don't let that throw you. Again, I'll try to stay off of it as much as possible. I'll go there now and again for those of you who are using a 5-string. I will not be using a pick for anything, and you're allowed to do what you want with that. Okay, for the first basic soul stuff. Now we're going back to the 50s. Okay? 50s, 60s is when they use this stuff. And again, it's basic walking stuff. Okay, we're going to use kind of the My Girl thing to get us through just basically learning the pattern for those who don't know the pattern. Going to low E. Okay, then we're going to go 3, 4. That's what number the frets are, just like tablature. So open, 3, 4, which is a hammer-on. Then your A string, going from 2 to 4. Then your D string onto. Okay, that's it. And we're going to stop there because I want to come back the other way. If you need that because you are at a different level than other people, meaning on the lower end of the scale, then let's take care of that. I'm going to move this camera angle a little bit and get rid of some of that brightness off the fretboard. Okay, again. Now, if any of you beginners need to, stop now and keep doing that. Okay, now on your right hand, this is up to so many different players what they do. Whether you have a thumb rest, if you have a 5-string, you can use your low B to rest on and completely play with your fingers. If you want to play with your thumb, partly or fully, it's up to the way you want to do with your right hand. There are different ways that are better for some people, okay? If I'm playing it, I would probably... So I've got a different finger or appendage for each note, okay? Or if I want to actually bring in some of the new stuff, you know, just put one slap note in there just to be bad. Or bring it into the new millennium. Some of you casino players might just want that note in there just to give it some solidity. But you won't, because it's actually in C. Okay, so don't do the band any disrespect by pulling that off. Okay, let's get the entire soul run. This is the basic walking thing, but with soul to it. Okay, that's what I'm going to do the whole thing. So if you guys are ahead of me, fine. If you're not there, let's finish that whole riff up. Hitting that twice. Now we're doing what are called just slides down and a pull off. So we're doing twice on the second string of the D string, going to the A string, 5, slide to 4, pull off to 2. Okay, now I'm just going to go to the E string, go 3, 2 open. Okay. Okay, it's not as basic as, it's just got more in it, and that is fine because you already know that you can chop it in half. Okay, so both of them. Okay, so here's the first half. Now I played it like that, had to get my little groove in there and find my inner groove. Had to find my soul on that one, but if you were doing just the My Girl type thing, it would fit in with that drum pattern that way. You know, ultimately that is not the drum pattern, so you find some soul and you do it that way. If you want to put the whole thing in, okay, even though it sounds like that right now, let's see what it sounds like by the time we get it in with this drum pattern. Okay, so it is not the best groove to put over it, or lick, but it can be made that way. That is a good thing to just simply point out with this pattern. It's like, would you normally play that pattern? Why not? It's a great pattern, it's a classic pattern, but you have to make it actually just fit. You got to find some soul to it. So now we have to pull that out of somewhere. Okay. The thing to do with a lot of this stuff is to really just tighten it up. You got to do the tighten up, okay? Which would actually be... Okay, omit a couple notes maybe, or make them very staccato, staccato being... Okay, so it may be part of it. I'm simply going to turn it back on and find out what my soul says. Okay, so I kind of dug the last thing, and it's just making up things. We're just jamming, we're trying to find some soul, and I actually found mine in the last part of it. Even though all the other stuff worked for this particular drum beat, I was able to search throughout all of it and, like I said, omit some stuff or go very staccato. Again, staccato meaning and kill it. You can even do that. It's just part of it. Okay? Octaves. Okay? Hammer on open to 2 on the A and on the D also. Now check this out. Okay, so that's a good little lick too. Let's go ahead and get that lick down. I'm going to show you again a lot of licks within tried and true good old-fashioned soul lines, okay, and still keep the soul about them, but without crossing the line and taking them into a funk or a slap pattern, okay. So that worked really well, as did okay, you're like, what is it? That's what I'm here for. So it is open E, okay, to our E on our 2nd fret of the D string. Then open E again. We're going to be doing that every other time. Doing the open E, so that'll take less time to explain, so it'll be every other note. Okay, open E, then high E up here, then E, the open D, E, 4th fret on your A string, E again, 2nd fret on your A string. Okay, that's all part of that run, just being more staccato, leaving out some notes. Now, the original run. That whole thing, we're going to just use this part. Okay? Okay, we're going to do 3 to 4 on your E string, 2nd fret on the A string, then your E again. Okay, so that's the only time we're going to break character or break the whole flow of things by hitting that low E. And I like to stop there. It's just something that I'm used to and that works very well. Okay. Just stopping right there on that 4th fret of that D string. Okay. So it's just something that works great. It's actually your 6th. It just works really good. Okay. For those of you who do not know your actual major scale, I'll get to it in just a second, and we'll go over it very, very quickly since there are so many lessons to teach it, or so many ways to get to it. We'll do it when we're not on an open pattern. But in the meantime, just know that we are hitting a note that is in the major scale. Now this leaves you with the option of staying there and just waiting for the next round to come. Okay, now there are a few things you can put right there, like I showed you. That's like the, then the, okay, so go back. There are a lot of these nuggets in here. They're going to fly by without you realizing how many there were. So the best thing you can always do is just watch this over and over again and pick up that little thing. It's like, oh yeah, I did know that, didn't I? Okay, so, okay, there it is in funk, if you ever go there. Okay, so again, a fine line, but it takes you out of the soul range. It just no longer has soul. It's got funk, and they are definitely two different things, and they smell different, okay? Okay. There's another one where you can do a pull off if you want, but it takes away from the soul a little bit. That's the pull off of the E note here. Okay. But it's there. Then or do you just want to stop? And I did. The other one I did was for your 5-string players. Just went, here's E. You can just go. Okay. Okay, so you can see how it works in. Or you can do an old run. Or just, we all know where that comes from, okay? Okay, so let's put some more stuff in here and take some more stuff out of here. Again, we have a long time to find your soul. Again, it's going to be in these old patterns. It's just a matter of playing them the original way. Okay, and going through them, breaking them up, and making them modern, and making them so that you can actually figure out things on your own when you hear them, because you're going to be listening to 70s stuff, 70s soul music. You're going to get the, and the 80s, God, 70s, 80s, you're going to have Commodores and stuff coming up, and it's still going to have the same licks, but they're going to be played slightly different, and then you'll have them in your head. You're going to know what they are when you hear them, and you'll be able to, like anything that you already do, pick out certain things and just play it without ever even touching your bass. Okay, So you'll get used to the way it originally went and then the way it evolved. Okay? Okay, so now we can actually, here's another. Okay. Chordal. I told you I was going to put some chordal things in there. Again, this is just a regular E chord if anybody plays guitar. 6-string guitar. There is your third. Okay, first fret of your G string. And we're actually going to look at it like a guitar player would to actually make the whole chord. Okay, and then we'll look at it the way a bass player does. A guitar player would play it this way. First fret, first finger. Now we're using the third finger, second fret, then right above it, your middle finger, second fret. And if you go way back by the bridge so you can actually hear the notes instead of a big rumble, we'll play G all the way up to E. So you can hear all the notes. Okay, now this is your root, your E. Okay, now this note right here is your third. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's learn some quick theory. We're here. We're in E. That's the key we're in. So we always start on there. That is your 1. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is your major stuff. Yes, that old thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll always be in this shape. Okay, no matter where you play it. Yes, you can count to 8. And 8 will equal an octave of the 1. But for now we're in 5 because I'm going to try to make you understand what some of these are. So you're in E, that's the key we're in. Whatever key you're in, that is always your 1 chord. Because you got root, fifth, root, fifth. What do you mean fifth? 1, that's your root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 5, 1, 5. Root fifth, root fifth. Country people. Root fifth, 5, 6. Major, 7th. 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? But you're going to play 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And this totality of what I'm getting ready to do. So we had all this stuff to work with. Now we're going quickly through these. We're going to add the chordal element. Okay, so think of that. You have this. That's your fifth. There's your root. So you have your root, your fifth, and your root. That's what we've played everything so far. Everything else has been, there's a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 1. You know, they're all part of just the major scale. Generally, bass players will use the dominant 7th, which is a flatted, going back 2 frets, and then the regular 7th is just back 1 fret. So keep that in mind if they are dominant 7ths later on down the line, if you're learning theory, and hopefully you'll learn some throughout this entire course. Okay, again, root, and the whole chord where you played is root, fifth, root, 3rd. So we have to do the 3rd for a chord. A chord is generally comprised of 2 or more notes, is the definition. An actual full chord is a 1 and a 3 and a 5. A root, 5th, and a 3rd is a major chord. If it's a minor, you flat the 3rd. So what's that mean? It goes back 1, and you run out of neck, but that's okay. At least you have the note there to make it a minor. So there's your major, minor. When you're going to use that, way up here and later. But for now, you're going to concentrate basically on. Okay, so that is your root, third, fourth, and fifth. Here comes chords. You leave your root, your E, there. Put your third there. Play something with your back of your fingers or the front of your fingers. I don't care. It's up to you. I use the back of my fingernails when I'm in this low register. Just makes them clearer and play more towards the bridge. Okay, but when we go to play them, okay, you'll want to single them out and play them with the pads of your fingers. Those are pads for anybody who don't know. The tips. So root fifth. I'm sorry, root third. Root 4 is move that up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got. And then we said root fifth, which is the same as, but an octave higher. But you can play them together and you have a chord. A root and a fifth makes a power chord. So you could. And everybody's, or you could not. That's why you don't play that kind of music, so you don't have to ever learn that song. Okay, but that's your fifth. Your root and fourth, and your root and your third. Okay, these are just simply to let you know that within all of this, you can actually go up to the fourth, so we can utilize our last string there. Back to the root, so that's root 4, root. I'm just doing from a third to a fourth. Okay, and if the song is major, you can actually throw a quick chord in of just those 2 notes, but do it way back here, so it's not so ugly and doesn't sound like somebody stepped on a dead walrus or something coming out of some flappy speakers you might have. Okay, again, they're just to add extra notes. So that is the scale, major scale. 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Practice that, those that need to. Rest of you. Okay. Okay. You have choices now. Okay, now let's do an actual, something that's actually melodic. Okay, so we can actually make these make sense instead of just a sloppy thing and hunting around. Now let's actually make them make sense. If you like a... Okay, so that just gives you quick passing notes, or you could go depending on what it is you're doing, you know, root and a fifth. Okay, so you can go all over the place. So another time, let's find some more stuff within this. Okay, another way of getting the same thing, but this is cool and it gives a different feel. So it's the same thing as this. Okay, so it's just doing it on the A string. Some of you know it, some don't. So E string, and again, every other note's going to be the E string. Okay, so we're going from 7, 5, 4, 2. Okay? Okay. Okay. Most of you that like to play nice and tight will be some of you that like to just move around a little bit, you want to get your hand unclogged, get a little bit of that arthritis out of it. Okay, you can go way up here to the 14th and 13th, okay, of your D and G, and slide into, okay, 11 and 12, slide them up one fret. That's when the actual chordal stuff will come in handy. I've got lessons on that. Again, that's just the same E chord. Octave higher with a 3, a third with a 4th with your pinky, and 5th with your pinky. Okay, so there it is, if you have to have it. Okay. Now, what you're getting there is modern day rock and metal music that has some soul to it. Again, all this stuff lends itself to what is happening now and what happened in yesteryear, depending on where you take it. Okay, so it went full circle from the 50s all the way up to 2015 real quick. Okay, it went through the 70s and it jumped way ahead, and it actually went through some Aussie, if you will. Okay, so that will be the first thing, and I want you to do this in other keys, of course, and find all of the little eccentricities in there that you can use. Okay, these are just the open ones. Same thing with A. Okay, so find all that stuff in the open strings, okay, and use many different backing tracks, drum tracks. I have a whole bunch of them for sale if you need them. I have 60 of them that you can download, and 6 different styles, 10 different tracks, $4, or you can just go online and get them, but hey, $4, nice and easy, and they come right to you. Download them, and again, just 6 different styles. It's nice to cover everything. There are a couple funk ones and there are the soul ones. There is a difference between the funk and the soul. Okay, so again, work on all the open stuff you did there. Everybody else that did not know the major scale, real quick, I'm going to show it to you on, what do we do it in? We did it in E. Let's do it in E. So I'm going all the way on your E string all the way up to the 7th fret. Everybody else can tune out if you want, but this will be the last part of this chapter, is the entire major scale. So E, we're in 1. Okay, that's the key of the song. That is your 1. Whatever key the song is, that's your 1. And this applies to a few different things, because we can change chords from a 1 chord to a 4 chord. not the 4 of the scale. Okay, so a song could have 1, 4s, and 5s in it. Okay, you could say this song's an E, and it's just a 1, 4, 5 pattern. Okay, for most people that's going to mean 1, 4, 5 means 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means something like that, or a 12-bar blues that has 1, 4s, and 5s, no 2 minors or 6 minors or anything like that. But if you're within a chord and you're not trying to find other chords, you just want to know the scale in E, E major. Okay, that is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so when somebody needs you to play the 3rd of the chord or the flat 3rd, you'll know what the heck they're talking about. Here it is. Okay, we're in 1 because we are in E. So E is 1. If we were playing a G, G would be 1. It's just where you start. So the pattern looks very cool, and I want you to do the dominant 7th. I'll show you both. Here's the thing where you go from here. Okay, that's 7 to 9. So 1, 2. All you did was skip a fret. Now you go to the next string for your 3, 4, 5, but you go 1 fret back, so you're going to be on the 6th fret. 6, 7, 9. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now for you, meaning bass players, I actually want you to do the dominant 7th, which is exactly the same as what we just did. So we did. Now I just want you to go. So from 6, 7, 9 again. Okay? And here's why it sounds weird. Listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? I want you to count to 8. 8 is the octave. Okay? And brings me back to do. So you got do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay? That's the major 7th. We're going to use the dominant 7th almost every time. There is a time to use. There's a time for everything, but mostly you'll be using dominant 7ths as a bass player. The major ones will actually come into play higher up the neck and in music where you're going to be doing very Las Vegas-y type sounding music or show tunes, and somebody needs a really high bass note from you that is just goofy, but I'll put it in here and show it to you. Again, the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, dominant 7th, and then back to 8. 8 equals 1. And it will look like that no matter where you play it. If you're in G and you need the major scale, same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So somebody wants to know the 3rd of G. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now here's the other thing. For those, again, who are a little bit behind others, which is no big deal, because that's why I'm here. 1, 4, and 5. 4, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. Those are always going to be in the same place, no matter what. Okay? If you're in E, 1, 4, 5, 4, 1, 4, 5, 4. So you can guess the other notes really easy. If that's a 4, just back 1 is a 3. Or if they want you to do a E, but put the 3rd in. See? That's in somewhere. That's actually what's called a chromatic walk. So that's your 1, 3, 4, flat 5, 5. Okay, that's used a lot in 12-bar blues. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, you should find these easily. 1, 5, 1, 5, or 1, 5, 1, 5. It's always going to be right above your 1 if you have another string. If not, grab it up here. But then don't forget, right above the 5, or down towards the floor, is a 1 again because you went through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up an 8. So now you got a 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. That's a 5 too. Octaves. Okay, so that's it. So end of part 1. Do all your open stuff and find things to make the My Girl type thing sound cool over different drum riffs, but take things out. Be staccato, use different strings, and use chordal things. Okay, again, in A. There's your 1, 3, 4, 5. So you got A. At the end of a song. You're at the end of a song. Okay? That 3 sounds cool. Or the 5th will always work. If it's major, the 3rd will work. And I can go 3, 4, 3, 1. Just find out what is cool, what works for you, and those can even play parts. Sorry, I am going to do this one more time. In your basic pattern is those the 3s, the 4s. You could just put them in. Okay, so see where it can work. The stuff can bring you right into today. They didn't use all that stuff back when, but it's just 1s, 3s, 5s, all that. So everybody that needs to go back and learn your major scales, go learn it. Everything else, go back, get the traditional stuff, and again, find drum tracks that are out of your comfort zone and find the soul in these things. Okay? Come back and I will force some more of this down your throat. All right, be right back. Okay, welcome back to Chapter 2. We're going to work on some basic other types of basic soul stuff from way back in the day, and add a few things to it. And we're going to work on a lot of pedal tones, which I promised you, which will be where we're just sitting there hanging around on the root or the 5th, and we're actually just doing the and it could be because it became, you know, that in the 70s and so forth, even with the rock groups. Okay, but let's get the original soul stuff that we are going to base all this on. Let's go to the key of C. Okay, again, everybody find out where I'm at if you're a 4-string player. 3rd fret of your A string. Okay, let me show you my given drum beat this time around. basically that. So root and fifth. C, G, C. Okay, if you need to keep it together like that, or put it together like that, whatever it needs to cover the root and the fifth, for whatever your skill level or whatever your comfort level. And again, hopefully using your fingers and not picks, but if you use picks, that's fine. It will not give you the sound of the original stuff. Nobody used picks back in the day, and everybody was always playing flat round strings and so forth, you know, so uprights most of the time, and then P basses with flat rounds on them to sound. Then they would even do the old foam thing. A lot of the basses had foam mutes that came stock on the basses to try to even make them sound more like uprights. You know, the main thing with the basses was to just turning them on their side as far as Fender was concerned, just to get them on stage so a bass player can actually move like a guitar player. But a lot of people still wanted it to sound like that. And you can too, by muting and turning your tone back some. Okay? So if you want it. I'm just muting it with the palm of my hand back here by the bridge. So that's the way, you know, the original stuff sounded, as some of you know. And a lot of you who want to get it just right, hey, get it just right. Mute it. The little notes in the middle, they were playing playing bass and upright anyway. So make it sound like it if that's the way you want it. If you want the old style sound, you want to get it dead on, that's as close as you can do right there. Without changing anything. Just mute it with the palm of your hand. Right back there by the bridge. If you're up here, nothing. Keep moving it back. Then move it forward till you still hear the note, but not the string ringing. Till it sounds like a rope. But with a tone to it that actually lets you distinguish what note's what. Okay. Again, back with the drum beat. Okay, very easy. Okay, real quick with the hammer on from 3 to 5 on your low E string. Again, you can go from the third, or actually the flatted third, so it's a minor thing, but it doesn't actually matter here. So you're going up to the 6, 5, 3 are your fret numbers or tab numbers. Okay, 6, 5, 3 on your A string. Okay, cut it up short. So these are all old style. Now way old school. Now the main thing was to separate it from country, from going root fifth Okay, so any combination of anything to keep it from sounding country. So I'm just going root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth, root, fifth, root. Now soul. Okay, now see how that can be taken as definitely old school soul. Okay, just very much in the style of what was going on in Motown and other areas of playing in soul. Not all people were on the Motown label. Okay, don't forget Motown is not a genre, it's a record label. Okay, make sure you know the difference. Who was on Motown, who was not. Just because they weren't signed to Motown didn't mean they didn't sound like everybody else. Okay, it didn't mean they all didn't play the same parts. Okay, let's get to that. But we're going to change that up a bit. Okay, to what went on a few years later that is still very, 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 very soulful. Okay, Wilson Pickett. Okay, actually blues, but it's very soulful. Okay, of course the infamous Mustang Sally lick. Drum beat, nothing like it, doesn't matter. It's here for learning purposes. Again, C. Now, okay, that's actually going to the E string, go on F, G, so first fret, third fret. Now we're going to our dominant seventh, okay? So that means 2 frets behind your root note. We're in C, that's your root note. Here's your fifth. We're using our fourth, our fifth, but we're using them below. Instead of root, 4, 5, root, now we're going 4, 5. So I picked this on purpose just to strictly show you that they are played octaves below too. Don't always just go down. Just like I showed you in chapter 1, the root can be below, especially if you're in C. If you have a 4-string bass, there's your root right above it. Okay, so your fifth, root, fifth, or root, fourth. Okay, so that's what it's relying on, is the root, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, root, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, root. Okay, and again, dominant seventh. Okay. Okay, very quick variation. And that was used a ton again in the 50s and 60s soul stuff. Okay, again. If you ever want to make it sound like the real deal, you see what I'm talking about. Okay, always take it and slam it back like that and see if it brings back memories of something else. Okay, and that's simply using 5/7 root. Won't you stand by me? Different key, but it's Benny King. Okay, so, or use your 4/5. Okay, so very cool stuff. And again, if you just want to brighten it up, from old school. Added a third in. Again, chords. Again. What are those? You have to know them. Root third. That's your 2. That's your 4. That's your 3. And that's your 5. So you 1, 4, 5 is always going to be there somewhere. Just like it was there. Now it is again. So we're just doing root, 2, 3. You're like, how's that 4 and 5? So that's root with your 3. Now your 2 with your 4. Now your 3 with your 5. Okay? You like that? Sounds horrible. It won't if you use the notes. Again, that's a learning tool. So that means you can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, look, they're all on the same notes, on the same frets, and they always will be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that means if you look at theory real quick, you can go root, that's your 1, skip a fret, 2, skip a fret, 3, now skip a fret, no, skip a string and just go down here to the 4 where you know it is. 1, 4, skip a fret, 5, skip a fret, 6, okay, now guess what? Go back here again to the 3rd fret. Now here's your dominant 7th, and finally your octave. So here. You can do them all on the dots. Why didn't you make it that easy at the beginning? Because you have to think of certain things certain ways. So now you're in C. Okay? So you're in C. You can play 1. So now I know, God, I can play everything on these dots. Everything on the dots. But you want to come back home to your 1. Okay, you already know that one. You're like, okay, so it's dot, 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 dot. Okay, so you can play all dots. I'm going to make up something with all dots. No pattern, just dots. But I'm going to be in C. I'm just making it up. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so quick way to make up stuff. You hear what sounds sucky and you hear what doesn't. But put some feel in it and make them staccato again. It's a quick way to find something cool. Okay, one thing I threw in, we did earlier, again, go back to check it. Octave. That was the very first thing we learned. You're like, no way. Yeah, that is a cool lick. That's too cool for school. Especially if you got 5 strings. How cool is that? Put a drum pattern to it. Check it out. Okay, play straight through. It's just cool. It's a progression you can't, that's a lick you can't lose. Especially 5 string. If you don't have 5 string, hey, hope you're playing it higher. I did it in G. Okay, so it's possible. Alright, so great thing, and use all these different things. Use staccato, use your muting technique to make sure it is classic sounding if you want to go that way. Again, I'm trying to make this classic by and then bring it up with the that one I taught you before in a different lesson. If you want it real quick, I know you do, just because it's such another cool lick. Okay, that's going from your root, pull off to your 7, 5, 7. Okay, I'll go ahead and name the frets, but for learn your theory, people, I have a theory bass video that's wonderful. Okay, so starting on your G string, 5 to 3. Now D string 5, back up to 3 on your G. Now we're going, finishing the first part, going 5, 3, 1. Okay, so 5, slide, pull off to the 3. Now hit 3rd fret on your A string, that gives you your C, so you've won a whole octave. It's not done yet. That is at the end. So you go from the 5 or the root, go up to the 4, which is your 3rd fret on your D string, back to root. Now we're going to go from the 2nd to the flatted 3rd, which means the 1st fret, 2nd fret. Hammer on D string. Okay. That's the last part. Whole thing. How's that sound in a lick or in a structure? So much there for you to work on. Don't say I didn't give it to you. There's plenty to get out of there. I want you to get some of this out on your own. The more you can learn on your own instead of being spoon-fed like this, the better. And I don't want you watching other teachers at the moment. I want you to learn by earning it. Okay? Learn it, earn it. And then, continue with myself or somebody else. Or you've heard it somewhere, figure it out. You have the tools to figure this out. That's called the major scale. That's the only tool you need to figure anything out. Okay? It's just like back in my day when I walked to and from school, 300 miles each way, and had to put the needle back on the record over and over and over again. Yeah. Okay, so again, in C, I was using, okay, these are just simply what is called chromatic, which means every fret. So I'm going from the 4 sharp to the 5. Okay, so F sharp, G. Then going to the dominant 7th, which is your A flat. I'm sorry, just your A. A sharp. Give me a new brain. So A sharp or B flat. Okay? That's all I'm doing. So I'm taking the Mustang Sally thing and I'm filling it in chromatically by going, instead of working on 4 and 5 and then dominant 7th and root, I'm just going. Okay? Use it again an octave higher. That gets you right back up to C. It's just very cool. Check it. That's right, it's pedal time. Okay, we're going to do a lot of things with these, and we're going to do them now. Pedal. I want you to gallop this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Let me shut the bass off. So it's right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. So the only time you hear it doing it twice. So you're going to do both hands as these fingers. These two again. Okay, turn your bass up, find a note. Let's go to D just because we haven't been there yet today. Okay. Okay, you're going to be actually stopping them as much as you can with that hand that's doing the padding here. Again, the pads of your fingers. That's what they're called. Touch pad. Some of you may or may not know that term. Depends on how old you are or what it's being used for today. But try to mute it with that hand, not over here. By letting that use that hand. Learn something. And that is a great thing for you to do, is just go back 6. Okay? If you ever need to go to the 6th, which is a extremely normal thing to do in a pattern, the 6 or the 2, you're on the 1, which is D. If you need to go to the 6th, it's just back 3 frets. Okay? Just like your dominant 7th is back 2 frets. Major 7, 1 fret. Okay, but your 6th is back 3 frets. That's going to become very handy for those of you who didn't know it already. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you'll get a lot of songs like that that go that way. Tons, especially in the 50s. Sixes and twos, they're everywhere, and they'll be minors. But for this, padding. Okay, try to work back to the 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. Chromatic means every fret coming back up. Okay, now even harder, because there's just not tons of time. I want to cram in as much as I can, and you have the ability to stop and practice. Okay. Okay, it's very hard to do, but if you get to it, try it. Okay, but the main thing with this padding thing, as far as playing goes, instead of being just an exercise, it is not an exercise. Okay, again. As you can tell, it's already usable and you've heard it a gazillion times. Okay, check this out. That's root, 5th, root, flat 5, rat, root 4, root 3. They're all chordal, but they are going to be padded. So, okay. Okay, so you'll hear this in other styles of modern playing. So you'll have okay, so you'll hear okay, that kind of thing, but that is padding still. So the padding came from way back from the... It doesn't have to be a horse gallop. It is just whatever you feel, whatever is in your soul. Notice how I chose to go ahead and actually go back to the root for each thing that I'm doing. I'm going from the root to the 3rd, root to the 4th, root to the flat 5, root to the 5. So I'm just going chromatic, and we know we can do it because you can go. Okay, and then coming backward off the same thing. Okay, so it's used quite a bit. So it just can be added with a lot of things. Check it out. And these were used way back when, but they were so bad with the tone, or so muted with the tone, you really didn't know what was going on. Okay? So, if I could actually do that, okay, let's do it this way. I would actually have to get a piece of something underneath there. Okay. So that's the only way I could pad it back then. But so. Okay, so you can hear a lot of different things that can happen. Again, it's just up to you. It can go all over the place, but this whole padding thing, so whether you need it for a lot of eighth notes, or if you need it for the old horsey clicky thing. Okay. Okay, you can do it that way. Okay. So it's all over the place. Just because it's busy doesn't mean it doesn't have a place. It might only show up one time a set or one time a night in what you do, but just know that it is there, and that is what padding is. What was it? I don't need a whole lot of money. I don't need a big fine car. I got more than I could ask for. Okay, so again, in rock and roll and 70s, everything came from just having soul. Okay, so that's where the padding thing comes from. It's just a part of bass playing, and sometimes the padding is just there to enhance the drumming. Okay. You'll hear a major padding thing, which is now called raking. Okay, they do this. You see, they'll do it sometimes with harmonics, or the other way, that way, but you'll hear this. Okay, it's used for many different things, percussive things, but it can be. Okay, a lot of people, you'll hear it when they're getting ready to learn their slapping and their popping, is they're getting actually ghost notes. Okay, ghost notes. It's just clicking. Okay, so you can click your and also do that when you're just practicing. Trying to get your pedaling going. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now we'll get on to some more stuff right after this brief message from our sponsor. Okay, here we are for the last section of the video. This is when things started transitioning, but we're still looking at definite soul stuff. When people started adding horns and so forth, and getting into that era, bands became bigger and bass lines became different. Okay, this is when, of course, the walking stuff came in, but I'm going to try to keep it rhythmically a little bit different than any of the walking stuff you've done so far, just so I can maybe open up some of that soul that you're not hearing in all the other versions of the walking things that I have put out or other folks have put out. Okay, so if you hear, here's my beat I'll be using. So quite the syncopated thing, but with the walking, I get something like this. Okay, so that being just part of it, and then I want to move on to another thing that is actually a little feet lick, which will be slow for this particular thing. I may speed it up, but just to show it to you because it's a very soulful lick that is just too cool not to have been made up back in the old days. And I find myself using this a lot. Okay, so as far as in the walking stuff, typical walking stuff in the key of E, for some of you who may not have been there yet, is just the, okay, the B open E, and again, we've done this part, 3, 4, okay, on the E string, then 2 to 4, then up to 2. Okay, now if we were playing this the long way, okay, so in E. Okay, you could do it full way like that, or, yeah, let's just go there. We're going up here to the 7th. So 7, and 9 up to 11. Now 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 7. Now down here open, it would actually be, see. Now if we were in G, same as we were doing it in E, it'd just be. It'll all be on dots. So check it out. Okay, but since I'm taking it back to open, I just wanted to show you all the different positions real quick. So open. So I just switched up to A. So from E, if I just do a hammer off or a hammer on or a pull off, is all you're hearing. Okay, so those might be some of the variations. A, E. If I do a B, I'm just going B. 1. So these are the fret numbers. 2, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. Okay, for B. A. Back to E. Then, okay, typical stuff. But is, again, trying to get the old stuff. Again, I will play it old and muted. Okay, so that would be like the old style, or it could be very sparse. Okay, so very sparse like that. Now to bring it into where we've been going, taking it and making it come up through the ears. I'll show you an example, and the best thing to do is break it down. Okay, so that there's basically a good little groovy play off of the typical walking pattern. Okay, so take off with the first line. Okay, very cool thing that I have used a lot. So you're playing it halfway through the walk. Okay, so banging on that A, doing the pad. Okay, you're doing it that much. Okay, dum ba da do da 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 da. Okay, these are all things you've learned before. That you've already learned, very first section. Okay, so again, I'm just messing with the actual soul of it. Okay, that there's a cool little one to have because you're going up 2, 5, 6. Now the major, or I'm sorry, the dominant 7th. Okay. Okay, you could always for fun since you're so close to it. See, just go right up to it. Kind of cool. Or you could. Okay, grab another note. Okay, so again, just finding different ways to play those walks that don't sound country. Okay, because there was nothing that sounded country with soul. Nothing was. That didn't happen. So it was just, you know, country happened to that. This type of soul and country were around at the same time, so they steered clear of each other. They finally became one and the same, you know, eventually. Everything does borrow off of everything. But okay, so anything that tickles your little fancy is groovy. Again, the pedaling. Okay, change it up. Instead of that, get some soul in there. Okay, so all kinds of things. I had mentioned a little feet thing. This is a cool riff, and it is based off of this, but they took it into a whole new place. And not to have this in your arsenal would just be a sin. Okay, take the same thing. The song is called Let It Roll. Okay, it's the last big album they had like 4 big hits, you know, chart-topping hits with it. Yeah, with Lowell George and everybody in the band. Just, you know, went back and did the cool stuff and had a really great album. Everybody was surprised, the big comeback that lasted 1 album, but at least it happened. Okay, here's the exact riff. Okay, E, then an octave. Okay, E, octave, 4th fret, 2nd fret, on A, so fourth on the E, second fret on the A, open on the A, okay, open D, fourth fret, now open, I'm sorry, open A, fourth fret, now open D, back to the octave again on the second fret. So you got E, then high E, then, okay, 4, next string 2, then open A, fourth fret, open D, then back to the E, second fret. Okay, it is just a swinging thing. I'm going to beef up the beats per minute up to about 100. Let me see how that feels. I'm going to bring it down to about 95. Yeah, not bad. Okay, again. You hear I have 2 on the thumb. Or just hold it. Okay. There is a place in the song, or anywhere, it just goes from your D to your E. Okay, and it just happens a few times. If you ever want to check out the tune, check it out here on YouTube or anything, but let it roll. Great tune. That's it. So I'm just playing around, having fun with myself, but again, let's do it with the beat. Okay, again, our walk, on as far as our fingers. If you need that slow, and then of course, mess around with that. Because this is just such a cool walking lick that I have used in many songs, you know, not a whole bunch per night because I don't want it to get old. But it's very welcome to the listener's ear to have a different walking pattern finally. Okay, I got lost. But taking it to the A and I would have to actually figure it out in B. But taking up the A is all I've had to do. So. So if you ever get tired, break it up. Okay? Check it out. Use your old licks, bring it into the new stuff. Again, it's all about you finding places to go. I'm just here as your spiritual guide, basically. Okay? Here we go. Okay, so basically that's it, man. It's just a whole lot of walking, whole lot of talking, but you're actually just going like from country to country. The best thing, by that I mean just take it elsewhere. Again, that one can be dissected to some very cool things, which is what I was starting to do at the end, and hopefully you will do that too. Again, I like my lessons to be, again, kind of like somewhere where it says in a fancy book, I like to be the fisher of men. I like to teach a man to fish, and then you go off and you find your way. You go out and fish, and feed your family. So try my way. You know, it's not going to hurt. You know, there's so many avenues to travel down, but the best one is always yours. Let me teach you to do a few things, but let me encourage you to do more on your own than what I throw at you. Learn something and work on that. Tear it apart, play it backwards, play it forwards. Don't think you have to sit through this whole thing, because you don't. Maybe within a matter of a couple months, yeah, but I don't want to see anybody in this in a couple months. You know, if you want to go through and see what's in here, but pick something and just, I mean, eat it up, spit it out, eat the leftovers, let it go bad, then eat it again, see how bad it tastes. The whole gamut is, I know it's a lot of weird little things to throw at you, but it's really like that. It's just taste it. You know, you're not going to know if you like, you know, spinach until you eat it. or try it cooked a different way, or all these different analogies I'm throwing at you. So take the old stuff, make it new by simply making it sound different, or play it the old way, especially if it calls for it. If it just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a professional gig, if you have to sound like it, if you're supposed to sound like it, if you're supposed to bring new life to it, then by all means do that. But if you want to totally discover yourself and what you're capable of, then these are the guidelines. There are no rules in music other than, scales, but they are there just as guidelines as well. It's like, well, these are what should be played, but nobody does. It's the people who color outside the lines. They get paid big money after they're dead for their artwork. Okay? So color outside all these lines I've given you. Once again, Dr. Groovy, Scott Grove, groovymusiclessons.com. Head over there for tons of free lessons. There's always going to be plenty there. Tons more bass stuff. Again, the actual Motown stuff will be out very shortly, or already is. So just check the site and see what's out. Lots of bass lessons, different styles, the funk stuff, all the other fun stuff, and stuff that's not stuff that is and isn't more strict. It's just a buddy of mine, pianomansteve.com, that says, if you're playing music and you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong. So when you're watching the videos, when it stops being fun, go off and have fun. If it still involves playing your instrument, all the better. But if not, go do something else. And then come back with a fresh mind. Okay? Be groovy, and I will see you hopefully shortly. Okay? And if you ever have any requests for videos that you think a lot of other people would get a lot out of, different styles and so forth, toss it my way. And no, there will not be a New Kids on the Block box set. Okay? Sorry about that, but catch you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.